Welcome to Focus on Gangwish Library, Ottawa University with Danielle O'Barto. This would be our September Focus on program. Let's get started. The 30 minutes always goes so fast. So, as our guest today, Danielle, please introduce yourself. And as we said, if you want to give us a little bit of a feel about your path to librarianship and how you ended up here, that would be great.
Okay. Well, hey everyone. I'm Danielle O'Barto, as Dan just mentioned. I'm gonna say my path to librarianship is a bit non-traditional. Um, and I say that because in my mind at least, my sense of the path to librarianship is typically people are already working in a library position and they're wanting to get maybe some advancement. I came out of the gate of community college going, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. Um, and so it was kind of a travel, how do I get there kind of thing. So I attended Emporia State and received my MLS. Stingers up. um, And then after I had graduated, I should back up a little bit, rewind. So, how I had determined in community college of how I wanted to become a librarian is I had taken a library aide position in high school, loved it, got to know the staff there, volunteered in my public library back home, loved that too. And then as I was transitioning from community college to um, a 4-year institution, I started volunteering at the County Historical Society, with practicums, internships, all of that fun stuff. But unfortunately, when I had graduated, I took about an 8-year break between getting the degree and then actually jumping over into the profession itself. So definitely non-traditional. I've been with Ottawa University for I'm going to say about 6 years now. So last year would have been my 5th year anniversary, which they make a celebration out of, and I have a little plaque sitting on my desk that says "Thank you for your service" and all that fun stuff. And then I've worked in the library itself for about a year. I started in September as interim, and then December I officially got the position um, to be here full time. Um, let's see. So a little bit more about Ottawa University. Like I said, I had been with the registrar's office, or I started with Ottawa University as a registrar specialist. Did that for about 5 years, and I always think of, okay, I'm managing people records, if not, book records and everything else, material records. Um, so there's, I guess, from the slide, it looks more of like a lateral move, just a very slight jaunt up. But that's okay because it's wonderful and I love coming to work every day. And just interacting with the students more one-on-one and directly, that is so much fun. Yeah. So a little bit about the university too. Well, I should also explain my other slides. So staffing wise, the library is open Monday through Thursday from about 7:45 to 10 p.m. And then on Sundays from 1 to 5, although I'm hoping to extend that a little bit longer to be about 10 p.m. Just because students and procrastination and all that fun stuff. So right now, staffing wise, it's me and a part-time worker who's here when kids are. I shouldn't say kids because they're adults, right? So when the young adults are here, He's wonderful. His name's Andrew. I love working with him. And there's so many times where he'll ask me, can I be full time? And I really, really, really wish my answer could be yes. But we're in a budget crunch. So right now it's just me, my part time worker when the kids are here, and about 17 student workers that are here when the library is also open for school. So summers, I experienced my first one of those this past summer, and it is extremely quiet and a little nerve-wracking if you're all by yourself alone. um, but yeah, it's pretty manageable. Of course, I'm still getting in the groove of things, being, 1 year out of the gate, so to speak. Ottawa University itself, so you all should know, like, we're in Northeast Kansas. The Ottawa community is about 12,500 people. But then we also have a sister residential site in Surprise, Arizona, and their population is about 154,000. And then there's also 2 satellite sites, one in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and the other one in Overland Park, Kansas. And they kind of compromise is the wrong word, but you'll get what I'm saying. Our online unit. So enrollment for Arizona is about 1,500, which is really comparable to, we call it OU Midwest, which can include the 2 satellite sites and our residential campus in Ottawa, and that's at about 1,000 students here. And then our online unit is full of international students from all over the country, and that's at about 800 enrollment. So for a grand total of about 3,000 students. And the residential campus in Arizona does not have a physical library space. So it's up to me to help kind of lead the charge, I should say, of going more digital to include those sites, which is a fun and interesting challenge. Let's see. So with my position, I also report to the provost. So right under the chancellor of the university, who oversees, we have the provost or vice president, and then there's those 3 campus presidents as well. Let's see. So let me get a drink here. On the next slide, if you would, Dan. This is kind of a layout of the city of Surprise, and you'll notice kind of by the blue lake, there's a little marker for number 10. That is their city library. So my hope is, while I'm getting some mixed messages about when and how and when we're gonna get a physical library space kind of on the Surprise campus, right now it's more of we'll utilize the public library, because Ottawa University and the city of Surprise have a very strong partnership, which we absolutely love. But to me, having that, of course, I personally have not been out there physically, but having the physical public library beside a lake or a pond seems really far away. So one of my future goals is to hopefully incorporate more of a study area and a study space with specifically for that residential campus. Let's see. At the Ottawa campus, so Ottawa campus. When slightly before I started, there was I guess a renovation. Not a renovation, I should say. a library moved from one building to another that was on campus. And my understanding was that the previous building, it's used for weights right now, like the building is still there. But with our new space, it was built in, I want to say, about 2015. Which is nice. It's beautiful. It includes the cafeteria. I'm gonna prompt Dan to go to my next slide though, so you can see pictures.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm supposed to advance here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That also gives me a water drink too. So you'll see kind of a floor plan on screen here. And so there's a tan color. That is actually our student cafeteria. And then there's down below that kind of like a long hallway, or if you would, the picture diagonal with the glass windows, that we call it the student mall, or I'm going to pronounce the name wrong, but the Schindler Atrium. I'm sure I pronounced the name wrong. But I'm going to stick with student mall. That is used for a lot of programming for student affairs. We had last year there was an international program where students from different countries cooked foods from their home, and students would get to come by and try it, and then they vote on which one they liked best and everything.
Neat
So
program.
right? So there's that kind of space is more of, I'm going to call it a free-for-all of who wants to and can utilize the space. And then the library, I say the library itself, it's all kind of titled from the student mall over, titled the Gangwish Library. And then the cafeteria area is like the Heretic Bistro, Gangwish Student Center. Or Gibson Student Center, excuse me. And then Gangwish Library, which is tucked kind of under the stairs beside the bookstore. And that's that back corner. So on the top right, you'll see a picture of the physical library space. And I should mention the student mall is down on the left corner. So there's that space in there. We did a little bit of a reconfiguration. I say little meaning tiny, of the use of our student space. So we have 2 study rooms that students can use. Just whenever whenever you have time. There's not any kind of reservation set with it. But then we had also been wanting to incorporate a writing center and a student tutoring center. So you can kind of see that first row of bookshelves. They're really short towards the back of the picture. Yeah. There's another set of those a little farther down towards the red wall. That's clear on this left side of the picture. What we did this summer is we pivoted those to kind of stagger them and make a labyrinth, if you will, or a wall of books, so that we now have a resource and writing center, tables where tutoring can be set up and everything. And then students naturally kind of gravitate towards that end anyway, for a kind of a quiet space. And then we have all these nice large tables for group work, along with facing the other direction, there's a bank of computers towards the stacks and the printing as well. So yeah, there's kind of that natural division anyway. And then this is kind of just helping us utilize that space just a little bit better.
So it sounds like these larger kind of work tables are maybe a little bit more active.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, is it even maybe bustling at times, or?
So it depends on the time of day.
Mhm.
This year, what I've noticed is we're primarily an athletic school. at this residential campus. That's one thing I should have mentioned too, is Ottawa's a private nonprofit. We do have a focus on athletics, but then we are also a tribal institution, and the site in Arizona is a Hispanic serving institution as well. So with us being an athletic school, for eligibility, some of the coaches require study halls as a requirement. So those tables fill up fast. I've noticed lately it's about that noon lunchtime hour when study hall hits, because it can get a little crazy in here, which is nice. I also love that part too. It's after summer, it's really nice to have people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, and I'm just gathering, and I've seen this in some other academic areas
Mhm.
when they have the student center right next to the library. It seems like that can really benefit bringing the students into the library. Nothing like food, I guess,
Yeah.
to help with that. So that's what you see, I would guess, is that it becomes an active
Yeah.
center of campus.
So the other part that helps is kind of that middle right picture on the middle there. We had also brought over some advisors. So like there's the writing center that's colored in red. Blue is the student support specialist. And then there's like a darker blue and a pink and a green and orange. Those are all academic advisors. So that also helps kind of with bringing students into the library as well. And then we have our service desk and test proctoring services as well. And then that green space that is listed as 3, it's just the normal study space that students can utilize whenever they need to. Let's see. So I always like to mention this is kind of like my hot selling point for the library, is we have a bike checkout program where students will bring their student ID and they get a key to a bike lock that is housed outside on the university. So it's kind of like our internal bike share program. And that is one of the like hot selling, not selling, but borrowing items, is our bike keys and our pool cues, because there's also a student lounge with pool table, ping pong table, all of that fun stuff that students can use, and it's just right outside in that same building. So
That's nice.
yeah. Let's see here. So, talking about the programming and kind of the student mall, where it's kind of a free for all, up for grabs of university life, and whoever needs to utilize it can. My one of my big goals this year, being new and all, I have really high hopes and high dreams, all of that, is to partner with our student affairs. And so this year we are doing an alumni brunch in October. So our previous students are going to be able to come in, see it'd be new for them, new library space that we have, look through old yearbooks and kind of reminisce. That's around our homecoming in October. And then we are going to host a library movie on the lawn night for our family weekend in September. I think it's like 2 weekends away. So I'm really hoping, as far as my student workers go, we're going to have I call it a student affairs liaison, to help with programming and helping utilize our space and get students involved with activities, all of that fun stuff that we could offer. And yeah.
That sounds great. What are we watching?
We don't know yet. We're in the works of getting like an inflatable projector,
Hmm.
and inflatable screen.
Right.
I had let student affairs know we have a projector here. We don't need to purchase a brand new one. So, and they have the popcorn machine, so we
Oh,
should
cool.
be set as long as we find a film to watch. So yeah. Um, and then, like I said, just partnering with internally with student affairs, with advancement, get new students and alumni to all kind of come in together and look at our new space. It's my dream. So some of our students will often say that we need more study rooms, like quiet study rooms.
Hmm.
So it's my dream to eventually kind of wall off. There's kind of nooks on the side of that top right picture that
Hmm.
I would love to wall off and have kind of like a designated quiet zone, so that students do have the option of more quiet study areas, um, in the library itself too.
Yeah, those are popular in public libraries. I'm sure they are
Yeah.
in academics as well.
Yeah. And each of the I guess four little kind of cubicles, not really cubicles, but there's the two little nooks in the study room. They have TVs and everything, so it's not uncommon for me to walk by one and see a computer hooked up and students gaming. So yeah, yeah. Um, and then as far as external, you could probably go to the next
Advance.
slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am a member of KLA, with the Coles section. That's a college, university, and library section. And then KCALDD, which is the Kansas Council of Academic Library Deans and Directors. And that typically meets, let's see, our last meeting was virtual, but we have met in person at the Coles conference that was in, I'm gonna say May. it's it's been a little bit since then. Whoops. It's been a little bit of time since then, so I have to think back. And then for future goals, I'd love to be a member of KLA and everything, and then just partnering with that surprise library since we don't have a physical library on campus. Um, and then Arizona as well.
Hmm.
So I guess kind of be, I don't know, not international, but national.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. And then hopefully partnering with the um, Arizona side of student affairs as well to help kind of expand our name.
Hmm.
Uh, One of the things that I had one of my first tasks, it was we had our accreditation coming back up, and we were concerned because without having a physical library presence, we wanted to make sure, one, students knew that we were here and able to help them. So I had created an infographic for students, and I guess that is plastered all over our Arizona campus of how many books are in our holdings and our chat service and
Hmm.
all of that fun stuff.
Hmm.
So
So that makes me wonder, are they able to get physical materials from your library in
yes,
Arizona?
typically, what I'll tell people is to also check with the public library, and then we can interlibrary loan it.
Hmm.
But then we'll mail it out kind of internally.
Gotcha. So you'll be mailing to a different department in Arizona?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Who do you work with your campus there?
Right now, her name's Sarah Eberly. She is kind of like the director of student affairs.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, and it's a slightly smaller campus. I think there may be three buildings compared to our, I'm gonna say anywhere from 6 to 9 buildings on this
Mm,
campus. So we're still a relatively small, like we're not a KU or anything, but
sure.
it's still a good sized campus, and the distance is is a fun challenge too. So yeah,
So I find that partnership, obviously looking at that opportunity with the Surprise Public Library, for
mhm,
now, it's kind of a really important partner to have,
yeah,
just to offer some of those space services.
yeah.
Um, have you thought a little bit, as you have it marked under goals, about
Mhm.
what kind of relationship between a public library and an academic multi-campus institution might look like?
It's still in the works. I know I've reached out to the library director in Surprise. Um, my hope would be that either we could have like one of their workers part time, or have maybe one of our GAs helping them part time
Mhm.
to kind of get familiar with their resources and our resources and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah,
I would love to have GA out in Surprise, Arizona that could kind of help do virtual remote work, and then also be on hand to help our students at a distance. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I would assume they still have student workers or whatnot that can help,
yeah.
but as far as like actual library services, are you managing many databases then for the Ottawa University?
Yeah. So our primary one is EBSCO.
Hmm.
So their new interface is really nice. So I got to help with that setup too. Um, but yes, our databases are a big component.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty key for kind of remote learning.
Yep. And for online too, all of
Hmm.
our online students, it was fun. So the let's see, September 6th, I went to one of our satellite site, which is Overland Park,
Hmm.
because they have our nursing MSN program, Masters of Science in Nursing. And I did like a little mini teach to 4 classes out there, just um how to use like our library webpage, tips, hints, all that fun stuff.
Hmm.
And I think the at the last count there were students from like 46 different countries. So yeah, that
Wow.
that was amazing.
It sounds like you enjoy the student relations, and I would guess that you like the instructional opportunities as well.
I mean, I like one-on-one instructional opportunities. Speaking publicly in front of a class of kids staring at you is a bit intimidating for me, but I'm I'm still able to work with it. And I was telling people that weekend, I was like, okay, so I think I have my flow down by the end of it. Of we can go here, here, and here, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I have
Great.
I have my flow down.
Good. Well, I have to ask, because I don't think we see a lot of academics at the KLA conference. Is that something you'll be attending this year?
I hope so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. We'll keep an eye out for you. I don't see anything in chat, but I know we're running down to like the last minute. Is there anything anybody was curious about, or anything, Danielle, you would like people to know about Ottawa University
Um,
or your work or anything? Parting words.
oh,
No stress, no pressure.
parting words. I just want to thank everybody for attending and
Yeah.
learning a little bit more about the academic side and all of that fun stuff.
Absolutely. I agree. I want to thank everybody always for attending and embracing us looking at different types of libraries outside
Yeah.
of public. So Danielle, thank you so much for making time to talk with me. It's been a pleasure to kind of get to know you a little bit better. We're helped anything we can do here at Neckles, you know where we're at. So continue to reach out to us. And with that, I think I will say we bid you and goodbye until next month, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.